quarterback Brock Purdy will be making his first career start against Brady and company, becoming the 8th quarterback to make his starting debut against the GOAT. The other 7 lost, but Purdy's squad features the league's best defense and a loaded offense. Purdy feeling confident in his squad. Take a listen.
I think the biggest thing is seeing like the older guys, the veterans of the team, just come up to me and tell me like, hey, like we got you. And even the guys on defense, like they're like, do your thing on offense. We're gonna hold it down and do our part. And then the older guys on offense, like Christian and George and Debo, BA, Trent, all those guys, like they're like, man, we got you. We're not gonna just throw you out there and leave you out there by yourself. Like they all got my back, and I think that's just been the coolest part about it. So knowing that I'm not alone in this whole thing.
All right, it's practically impossible to try and compare these two, but here it is, your tail of the tape for Week 14. Tom Brady has started more NFL games than Purdy has passing yards in his career. Brady is in season 23 in the NFL. Purdy is only 22 years old. Brady also made his NFL debut just 1 month shy of Purdy's first birthday. So the Bucs are underdogs in this matchup. Stephen A., I'm going to start with you on this one. What are the chances Brady can pull off this upset?
Slim to none. I expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I said slim to none. I didn't stutter. Purdy ain't the one that Tom Brady has to go up against. He got to go up against them boys on the defensive side, led by Bosa and the crew. That's who the hell he got to go up against. He's got to go up against them with a compromised offensive line. All right, he's got to go up to against them with a less than stellar running game. He's got to go up against them with receivers he doesn't seem to be on the same page with on far too many occasions this season, whether it's Evans, it's Godwin, or anybody else. And more importantly, Brady has to go up against them, for the most part, as a relative stationary target. This San Francisco 49ers defense is no joke. Now, I'll be fair and say I don't think they get at the quarterback the way that Dallas does when it comes to quarterbacks being in passing situations. But if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what you have to do is you have to have some kind of balanced attack. You can't have Tom Brady dropping back to pass and throw 50 times, not against these brothers. And I think that's a situation that's incredibly daunting for them. Now, Tampa Bay's defense are no slouches. And when you take into account the fact that it's Purdy, and now you've got a week of film to watch on him, so you might be better prepared for him than Miami was, okay? Because they didn't expect and anticipate to go up against them until Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. You got a situation where Tampa Bay might have a little bit more familiarity with him and what he can do. But you still got Debo, you still got George Kittle, you still got those cats. Of course, Christian McCaffrey with Kyle Shanahan calling plays and getting the football out of his hands. So I expect San Francisco to put up some points, maybe not a boatload of points, but to put up some points. But that defense going up against Tom Brady, I'm sorry. This is one of those guys. Brady is phenomenal. Brady's the great. He's the GOAT. I get all of that. This is not a game I see him pulling out. I don't see that.
Stephen A., I am very, very disappointed in you for missing the bigger picture here. This has nothing to do with whether or not Tampa Bay can win this game, because Tampa Bay is not going to win this game. This has everything to do with the story that is going to be written if the San Francisco 49ers win the Super Bowl this year. Let's think about it, right? In Brock Purdy's first start, he's playing against the GOAT, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, in his second year, replaces a Drew Bledsoe on a New England Patriots team that's stacked on defense with veterans that can run the football. They have this great coach that hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but that everybody thinks is a genius. That's the exact same thing that's happening in San Francisco. It's a rookie quarterback who was a third stringer that's now thrust into the starting role and has to play on this team with Super Bowl aspirations. And they actually have a chance to win it. If Brock Purdy plays well in this game, if Brock Purdy just does what all the veterans are telling him that he has to do in order for this team to win, the San Francisco 49ers can win a Super Bowl. This team is ready-made for a quarterback to do as least as possible to win the game. Just get it out of your hands. Don't lose the game. Don't make huge mistakes. And once or twice, just make a play we need you to in a critical football moment. That's exactly what Tom Brady had to do when New England won their first Super Bowl. And no, I'm not saying that Brock Purdy can grow up to eventually be the GOAT. We're just talking about this season. It could be the same Cinderella story that Tom Brady wrote. It is perfectly made and set up for it to happen. And can you imagine all the stories that are going to be written if this team gets to the Super Bowl? Well, it was destiny because in the first game of his starting career, Brock Purdy played against Tom Brady. Woo, 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 woo. And it is true. This team can still win a Super Bowl, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just the next domino that has to fall. And when they do, we'll look back on this and say this is the most improbable run for a quarterback since Tom Brady did it early 2000s.
Well, before Bart Scott chimes in here again, let me respond to Ryan Clark being disappointed in me. First of all, okay, you say I missed the boat, but you left out a particular couple of words. As in on purpose.
What's that?
Because I could care less. You understand? So all of those things that you pointed out, that's for weeks down the road. For this particular week, I mean, please. I think Tom Brady and Giselle is a better storyline. I think Tom Brady and his Tom Ford suits is a better storyline. I think Tom Brady and a lot of things are better storylines right now. Because their offense, now granted, if Tampa Bay was flowing and they didn't look so anemic offensively throughout this year, you would have a point. But they've been so god-awful offensively, I'll be shocked if it's an actual game, considering how big-time San Francisco's defense is. I don't even think it gets to Purdy. San Francisco's defense might beat Tampa Bay all by itself, the way their offense has looked. So for me, again, I get your point. You're not wrong, but I missed it on purpose. Because Tom Brady and them have not given me much of a reason to care over the last few weeks.
Since we're doing alternative endings to movies and scripts and all that stuff, I'll add mine in. When you think about it, what it is, I mean, San Francisco should win this game. If it wasn't for a collapse of the defense and, the overall, losing your mind from the Saints, we'd be talking about Tom Brady being tied up in a three-way tie within the division, in the worst division in football. But I think what the reality is, I think Tom Brady's going to be so dominated by the San Francisco 49ers that he slides into their DMs, right? You talk about the infatuation that Kyle Shanahan has for Tom Brady. He gave him all his roses, saying he's throwing the ball and spinning as great as he's ever done. Can you imagine a scenario where Tom Brady goes back home next year to be the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers with a team that's equipped to handle an immobile quarterback because they have the best left tackle in all of football? You talk about being able to run the ball, much like when Peyton Manning and John Elway was carried to the finish line, and then Tom gets to ride off into the sunset in a place that he grew up in, a team that he revered, for a quarterback that he modeled his game after, his favorite quarterback in Joe Montana. Right, this is the story that we're talking about. This is where you talk about Tom Brady and the case that they had against the Miami Dolphins, that he was trying to find his way to the Dolphins. I think Tom Brady finds himself back to the 49ers, and I think that's the story, the underlying love story that we're talking about.
Wow, I love this love story. We don't think Tom Brady is going to actually retire.
Notebook watching.
I love Mice of Men is my favorite movie. Mice of Men is my favorite movie. Put some respect on it.
It's a rom-com. You slide it into people's DMs. I love this for
Brother
Tom
bringing up love stories on First Take.
Brother
bringing up love stories on First Take.
I remember a segment on your radio show used to be Dr. Love, and you had a love segment. I'm just swagger jacking you.
But I ain't bringing it up at First Take. I bring it up on First Take. That was in the afternoon, setting the stage for the evening. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what you think.
I have no idea what's going on now. Okay, I know we've hammered this home, but Brock Purdy was just 5 days old when Tom Brady played his final college football game and wasn't even